Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of The Gully Squad. How you doing, everybody? Today, we're going to have a great conversation. It's been a while, yes, but I'm back in effect. You know, so much has happened to the world lately. Jesus, you can't even keep up with it. There's so much going on. Now, today we want to talk about a topic that's a lot of people have been talking about, social media, politicians, and very quickly it's been talked about. Defunding the police. Defunding and police reform. Now, I'm going to say how I personally feel about this whole defunding the police department after the wake of George Floyd and what's happened with George Floyd, the man that was killed by the police, the whole world seen. Damn it, I believe in it. I believe that we should defund the police department. Oh, goddamn right. Oh, yes. And the reason why is because as of right now, we do not have a police force. No, we don't. We have a military presence. I'm going to say it again. A military presence that's occupying the streets of the world, of the United States. They're not there to protect regular citizens. They're not. They're there to protect property. And unfortunately, we haven't had that type of policing in the community, in the neighborhoods for a while. I'm talking about we haven't had that really with that type of attitude and that type of motto for decades now. Past some decades. Now, unfortunately, we are at a place now in time, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, that we are deliberately dealing with a tyrannical group of tyrants who are killing unarmed black men and black women in the streets of America. And they need to be defunded because training has not worked. Oh, you're going to get this heat. You're going to get this work. Training has not worked. The American Police Department are trained. Oh, they're trained. Now, of course, they're not as trained in longevity in regards to the length of their training with their European counterparts. They're not. I think I posted something last week about that. You got all these places, Norway, Sweden, all these other places, they a couple of years to be a goddamn police officer. Here, 6 months, you do a couple of laps around the goddamn, what's the name? You're a beat cop. Getting $33,000, $35,000, depending on the area. 42, depending on a supposed high crime area. Now, the training itself, yes, they receive training. We could add a little bit more, but the training to kill its citizens, that shouldn't even be it shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't even be an issue. You're killing unarmed citizens in the United States of America should not be happening at all. Let's analyze that for 1 second. We live in a country, land of the free, home of the goddamn brave, where its police force, which were slave patrols in the beginning of their creation, but let's not even go there. Let's not even go about their origins. We're talking now, 2020. We live in a modern, free, supposed world, a place where we pride ourselves to have civil liberties, but the people who are there paid in our behalf to protect and serve us are killing us in the streets. This isn't happening in Japan. This isn't happening in Germany. This isn't happening in China, even though they have their own issues, but they're not killing people on the streets. This isn't happening in our supposed free world, modern world, first world nations, but it's happening here because the people who are becoming police officers, these guys are psychotic. Now, does that mean every police officer is psychotic? No, I'm not saying that. But we have too many bad apples. You know, they say one bad apple, spoils a bunch. Well, we have so many goddamn bad apples that every day we have seen another dead, unarmed black man, black child, black woman, black grandmother, black grandfather murdered. And of course, if they even get convicted, even if they get arrested, they're getting acquitted. So we have something way deeper than training. We have systemic, racist police officers who are now acting like they're crying and they feel like they're not being respected. Oh, shut the fuck up. You're going to get this work. You're going to get this heat. They're crying like goddamn babies now. Now that what has happened in America with the Black Lives Matter movement, we're going to talk about that too, has harnessed a vigor of anger towards our police officers and what's happening in America, the inequality that's happening in America. The world has seen something that they heard about. Let me explain something to you. They seen something that they heard about, but didn't really see that much of it. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that we're sitting here and the whole world is still under a pandemic lockdown. Now, of course, some places have been opened up and, little by little, things are, opening up. People are moving back and forth. So it's not a full lockdown as before. But when this happened with George Floyd, the whole nation was under lockdown. You were stuck in a house and the whole world was basically stuck in a house. So what we've seen is that the whole world with their smartphones, from Japan to Germany to Berlin, they've seen a black man dying on the street with a police officer who's rotten to the goddamn core, put a knee on his neck while other police officers stood there and assisted him and then insisted him by holding him down. And you had other people videoing it, telling them, you're killing him. He can't breathe. What the fuck are you guys doing? You're killing him, and the guy was kneeing him harder. This was a lynching that the world seen. The whole goddamn world. You're going to get this work. It's been a while, but you're going to get this heat. So everyone was home to see this go down. Everyone was on lockdown throughout the globe. So they saw this and the world reacted. They were heated and they had enough. So now people who would not have necessarily understood. Now, of course, if you live in America, you know what the fuck is going on. You're not an idiot. But there are some people who really didn't understand what black Americans were saying, that these cops are killing us without any repercussions through the legal system. So the world said, enough is enough. No, we march what you got. We're tearing this bitch down. Specifically the black people here. I commend them. This young generation. I love this generation right here. This young generation ain't goddamn having it. They said, no, we're tearing this bitch up. You kept us on lockdown. We got this goddamn pandemic. We've been in the house for 2 goddamn months. We can't go out. We can't do this. We can't go to the gym. We can't go to the clubs. We can't do whatever we want. And America's been used to doing things like that, getting up and living their lives. We can't do anything of that. But we can't. But what we're doing is staying in the house and watching you murder one of us. We're tearing this bitch down. What, did you not know that was going to happen? And I'm speaking to the police officers. I'm going to keep it a buck. Did you think that you were going to able to just kill people for eternity? Did you honestly think that nothing was going to happen eventually? You just thought, well, I'm going to be a police officer and I'm talking about the bad cops, not the good cops, because we do have good police officers in the police force. They just get silenced let's be clear here, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. The good police officers, the few that they are, they get silenced. That's that blue coat shield that brotherhood shit. But the bad cops, they literally thought this was going to, they had the field trip onto killing niggas, and it was carte blanche. Go right ahead, do what you gotta do. We'll take the unions, no problem, we'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. Go kill a couple of them. Put it on the quota. You didn't think eventually people was gonna rise up? And it ain't over. That's the second part. It ain't over. This shit ain't over. Defunding the police is necessary right now. I'm gonna say that shit again. Defunding the police is necessary. And reform. I'm not talking about bullshit reform. I don't give a fuck if you're a Democrat or Republican. I'm neither one of you motherfuckers. God damn it. I don't put no allegiance to any political party. I go by the individual, and what the hell are you gonna do for me? You heard that shit right. I'll say it again. I don't vote for Democrat or Republican. I vote for the person that's going to do the shit for me and my core beliefs. Defunding the police has to happen. Does that mean that the police as a whole, we should not have police? That's ridiculous. Good cops are needed. Good men with guns protect from the bad men with guns. So I don't believe that we should take away the police force in one town and two towns. No. Because we do have criminals. Oh, we do got some psychopaths. We do got some guys that's just ready to tear this shit up because they're lawless to begin with. But we do need to get rid of these knuckleheads, these racists, these guys who only came on the police force to kill someone with a darker hue. We got people who are on the police force that has psychotic problems, which should be in the police reform. If you got some psychiatric problems, God damn it, you should not have a goddamn gun. Shouldn't have a gun. And definitely not a gun with a badge. A gun with a badge? Hell no. Pass that shit up, buddy. If you as an individual have problems with depression and anxieties and you're scaredy cat, let's keep it a buck. There's a lot of cats these motherfuckers scared of their own goddamn shadows. But then when they got that pistol in their hand, they feel like they 10 feet tall, 380 pounds. They feel strong, but internally they weak. We don't need you. You got to get off. You got to pass that badge up, buddy. If you got 20 complaints on you in the last 2-3 years, and all the complaints is, I'm pistol whipping motherfuckers. Every complaint is, it was a speeding ticket, pistol whipped him. It was a misdemeanor, pistol whipped him. If you got one of those if you got complaints like that consecutively, then motherfucker, you like beating up on people. Gotta go. If you have domestic violence on your wife, and you one of those guys that, you like slapping up your woman. You like slapping up, people that are weaker than you, physically weaker than you, not mentally, but physically weaker than you. You got to go. See, right now, ladies and gentlemen, I would hope everyone that's listening to this for this podcast to Donald Trump, even if you don't fucking like his ass, send it to him, because I'm about to say something to the President of the United States. Oh, you're going to get this work, you're going to get this heat. As a fellow New Yorker, Mr. President, please, everyone, once again, forward this to President, to Donald Trump. I would appreciate it. Because this particular, what I'm going to say right here is specifically to him. And it might surprise you what I say. Mr. President, I need to speak to you. This is the Gully Squad on the Gully Show. And I need to talk to you about the police. And what's happened with the police has caused us to have a national security issue. You heard what I said. this shit that we're having here right now, Mr. President, I'm going to talk to you like you're a New Yorker, because goddamn, you're a New Yorker and we speak a certain language. So we have a problem, Mr. President. We not only have a domestic problem, goddamn it, we have a national problem. See, what has happened in America right now has gone global. And it's made America look bad. Ooh, this shit's giving us a black eye. Now, we've been getting some punches, and we're Americans. We can handle it. But this, on an international level, has given America a very bad look. You have your police officers, because you're the commander-in-chief. These are your cops. You have your police officers killing its own citizens. Now, that's been happening before you were president, so I'm not blaming you for this, Mr. President. But these riots are happening under your watch. And this is a big black eye. See, as America, we're supposed to be the leaders of the free goddamn world. We're supposed to be able to talk to other nations and say, listen, you guys are fucking up over here with your citizens, and you're violating human rights and civil rights. This is what we do. We're Americans. We do shit like that. But now that this is happening domestically with these idiot cops, how are we going to literally tell another nation to clean up their act, to clean up their backyard? They're going to look at you. They're going to look at us like we're a bunch of idiots. What the fuck are you talking about? You got your own goddamn problems to worry about. Clean up your backyard. That is what they're thinking, Mr. President. I'm talking about Germany's thinking it. Japan's thinking it. China's thinking it. Norway, Canada, every nation that has had a Black Lives Matter protest for George Floyd. Because let's be realistic. That's the reason why this has actually happened. That was the catalyst, the death of an unarmed black man, George Floyd. All these nations that have riots and protests globally, it's because these nations saw what happened to on our neck of the woods. So this has made us weaker. Not weak as a people, but it's given us it's made us weaker when it's time for us to negotiate national things, international diplomatic problems. Because like I said, once again, Mr. President, these people, these leaders are going to say, or they're thinking, don't come to us and tell us what we need to do in our neck of the woods when you can't even control your goddamn assassins. Speaking to New Yorker, Mr. President, something needs to be done. The streets need to get calm. The police force needs to be cleaned. These unions, these unions, they've got too much power, Mr. President. These DAs that are letting out cops who constantly, they got a killing over here, and in 6 months they get fired, and they go to another town or another city, and they get rehired by another police department while killing someone in 2 towns over. That has to stop, Mr. President. We need law and order. Now, so please, ladies and gentlemen, pass this to Mr. Donald Trump. Let's see if he reaches his desk. I would hope so. Now, if this is not done, now back to speaking to my audience, if this is not done, people are going to fight back, which they have. Now, I'm noticing a lot, and I commend it. I'm seeing a lot of young men. They're beating these cops' ass. They are. These cops still haven't understand that you can't just treat one group of people a certain way and then treat another group a certain way. See, they haven't switched that. They haven't switched that mentality yet. Even with the riots, they're like, we're gonna still treat these niggers like niggers. We're gonna crack some skulls, choke them out, put a bullet in their back, tase them in directly towards their heart and kill them. They haven't got the message yet. And I'm noticing a lot of videos of young men saying, fuck that. You getting this ass whooping. And they've been beating their ass. See, that's what you call fighting back. And it's going to continue. See, this generation is the ancestors. I'm going to say that again. I've seen people say, oh, we're not our ancestors. Oh, yes, you are. You don't understand deep African spirituality. You are. You're the ancestors that survived, and you remember. In your DNA, you remember how you fought. So we have a lot of warriors in these streets right now, and they're tired. The way they're looking at it is, if I don't fight back, this police officer is going to kill me. He's going to put a bullet in my back, bullet in my head, choke me out so I could die, and I'm dead, and there's going to be a march. Fuck that. I'd rather fight and bust his ass than jail. See, some people love life. These kids aren't afraid of jail. They're not. And we'll blame Joe Biden on that crime bill on that one. These kids aren't afraid of jail. They're not. And they weren't afraid of death as much either. But now they're definitely not. Now it's not even a fear of death. They don't fear their cops any longer. They don't fear their cops any longer. They never really had, the cops never had respect. Let me say this for those who are listening. The cops really never had respect. They just didn't. What they did have is fear. They've been having fear for a minute. But you know what happens with fear? Eventually, that dies out. See, you can fight a bully and get your ass whipped. Still, you got fear in your heart. You know, the bully just keeps on beating you up until you get used to it. Until you get used to getting your money taken away from school, from that bully. Until you get used to him, punching you and, making you look like an idiot in class. And you get used to it. You know what to expect. You felt his punches. You felt his sting. Until you realize, wait a minute, I can take this fucker. I've been practicing. I've been watching some boxing. I've been watching some karate, some kung fu, some MMA. Yeah, he's bigger than me, but he's sloppy. He can't run. He eats too many goddamn donuts. I can take him. And if I can't take him, then I'll die. But if I do take him, I'm going to get him off my back. Maybe I'll do a year in jail. Or maybe 2. I'll get bigger in jail. See, ladies and gentlemen, that's the warrior mentality that these young people have now. Men and women. They're at a point now, they don't care. So what are you going to do? Are you just going to have idiot cops continue? Because now you're going to have the young people saying, we're fighting you back. For those who say, well, we don't want to have our kids getting slaughtered. We don't want our kids to, we don't want our kids getting hurt. They're already getting hurt. They're already getting slaughtered. They're already getting murdered. I'm not advocating death on that, but we have to understand the reality. These people, and I'm speaking as police, these police, they're not going to give you peace of mind because you're twerking in the streets. You're dancing. And that shit has been irritating the hell out of me too. Seeing people just twerking and all this flamboyant shit. But I'm going to get to that. That's not how you're going to win. That's not how you're going to win this fight. How you're going to win this fight is by legislation and letting these people know we're not taking it anymore. So if you're going to arrest me, and I'm getting charged with something, then I'll put my hands behind my back and arrest me. But I'm not going to let you brutalize me. Bust me up in my head. Bust me up in my ears. Bust me up in my mouth. Beat me to a pulp because you just don't like the color of my skin. Or allow you to kill me because the cops also notice weakness. They go for the weak. Just like that bully, they go for the weak, the meeker of us. And I noticed, if you notice, they stay away from the warriors because these warriors are beating their ass. I saw a video yesterday. This young man just, the police officer was arresting another young man. He was already handcuffed. he was partially handcuffed. So he was getting arrested. Pay attention to this. He was already getting arrested. It was until the police officer had one of his arms in handcuffs and he started yanking his dreads. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I had dreads when I was younger. I had dreads down to my knees. People who have dreads, it's a very spiritual thing. The minute he grabbed his hair, I knew what was going on. He gave him that look and something enraged him. And he started wailing on that police officer. The ancestors came out. He wasn't fighting like he was fighting somebody else. He was fighting this. He was fighting him as if he wanted him to remember that ass whipping. One, you disrespected him. Two, you touched his dreads, which are spiritual. And three, he knew that when the police officer grabbed him, that 9 out of 10, that police officer was going to disrespect him more and probably beat up on him. He's a young man. He's seen how it works. And it happened in Louisiana. He knew that ass whooping was coming the way he grabbed him. So instead of him just laying there and becoming a victim, he beat his ass. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Tariq Nasheed bailed him out. Good man. So think about that. The young man knew regardless he was getting charged. There was no escaping that. He was going to get charged for resisting arrest. The minute he grabbed him, if he didn't do anything to him, he was going to brutalize the young man and still get charged for resisting arrest and battery on a police officer. So him beating up the cop, he really earned it. He earned the battery. But I'm telling you right now, that cop is going to remember that shit. And all the other cops are noticing these kids are fighting back. This is the reason why I'm naming this podcast Defund and Fight Back. Because it's that time. We're in the 2020s. Like I said in early podcasts, things are going to be different in the 2020s. And it's happened to be way more different than I could even imagine. Now, that being said, I also want to touch about the direction of where I see this movement is going. And it's disturbing me. Oh, Jesus. It is disturbing me. And what I mean disturbing me in a sense is I am noticing a lot of people that are with the Black Lives Matter movement, organization. They're kind of really trying to intertwine the trans and gay agenda within the momentum, with the Black Lives Matter movement. And there is a difference. When this happened with George Floyd, the Black Lives movement came up and, said enough is enough. So people rallied with the cause of, okay, enough is enough of killing unarmed black people. Let's keep this in context. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. So we all remember this. But what I've been noticing, and a lot of other people's been noticing also, is that they're gradually transitioning the momentum of what has happened for the Black Lives Matter movement and uprising to the Black Lives Matter organization. And the organization, if you've read their mission statement, it's very trans gay agenda. I don't think there's a straight man in that whole organization. I don't think you could be a straight man to be in that organization, to be honest with you. But I don't have an issue with them having an organization for what they choose to be. That's their business. But what I am upset and what I'm noticing is that they're piggybacking the momentum of what's happened to trans lives matter and gay rights matter. And today I even saw a video about sexual reproductive matter. And a lot of Caucasians are marching to this like, yeah, trans life matter. And it's weakening the goddamn message. I'll say it again. It's weakening the message. You're going to get this work. You're going to get this heat. See, Germany, Japan, England wasn't playing. England was beating up those racists. Oh my God. Those English brothers. Those motherfuckers, they were knocking those racist white boys out left and right. I'm talking, come here, boy. They were beating their ass, as they should. The whole world was protesting. The whole world. Let's understand this. The whole world was protesting because of George Floyd's death, an unarmed black man that was killed. They weren't protesting because of LGBTQ. They were not protesting for trans lives. Do I gotta say it again? They were not protesting for trans lives. They were not protesting. The whole world did not say, I'm protesting. We're going to stop all this and we're going to get out of our house, even though there's goddamn quarantine, because of trans lives and reproductive rights. Those are important issues. Sure it is. But that wasn't the reason why they were rioting and protesting. The world did not do that because of them, because of that agenda. So for those who are pro Black Lives Matter organization, let me be clear. The world is noticing. Well, the people who have eyes to see and people who have ears to hear notice. It's as if it's being very incoherently watered down to morph into something else. And we see it. We see it. Chill with that. You wanna promote your trans, that's your business. But this right here, this agenda right here, this protest, this uprising, this world uprising, I'm gonna say this world uprising was not for gay rights. It was not for LGBTQ. It was not for trans lives. It was for a black man, a heterosexual black man named George Floyd that was murdered in the streets by a police officer. That is the reason why, in plain English, the world was up in an uproar. That is the reason why they burnt down shit. They stopped roads. They did all of that. Germany, Norway, England. That's the reason why they did that. Not for you. You have your day. And you have the right to protest as well. But don't try to muddle the waters. Because George Floyd, let me say this, and I'm going to say it very clear. George Floyd, if he was a homosexual, which he wasn't, that man didn't kill him because he was homosexual. He was heterosexual. But let's just say, that officer didn't kill him because of that. He did not kill him because of his sexual orientation. He killed him because he was a black man. You won't get this work. You won't get this heat. And I'm going to say it again. He was killed, not because of his sexual orientation. And most black people on the system of white supremacy are not killed because of they're not killed because of their sexual orientation. The first thing the cop sees is not your goddamn who the hell you sleeping with. John or Tammy. They don't fucking know. But they see if you're a black man or a black woman. And that's been the plight of black America for 400 years. Not this new trans lives matter and LG. This is something new. This is more recent. But they've been killing black people specifically because you're black. Now, if you happen to be gay and black and they killed you, okay, there's a double whammy. But that's not the norm. And the police officers that are doing it, that's not what they care about. They didn't say, oh yeah, he's sleeping with John. This guy, what's his name? His name is Jeffrey, and he sleeps with John. Oh, let's kill his ass. They're not asking those questions. They don't give a fuck. So stop trying to make this uprising into something that it was not. Because people see you. We see you. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you peace. On that note, family, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Support the Gully Squad at patreon.com. And remember, we are one.